With NFL training camp just a few weeks away, the Buffalo Bills are positioning themselves to be front runners to potentially even win the AFC this season. I think they've made a ton of grade A moves in terms of improving this football team, and we've kind of showcased and seen that throughout all of rookie minicamp, heading into OTAs, and then ultimately mandatory minicamp. We saw a lot of good things out of this Buffalo Bills team. But in this video, I want to break down the things that we don't realize, the things we aren't noticing about what the Buffalo Bills are doing and setting up for this season, including some of the defensive moves, some of the offensive moves. However, before we break down my opinion and why I think they're going to change everything this season, this is the year, I want you guys to comment down below a couple of things. 2 players that you believe are going to break out this season. It could be a veteran, it could be a rookie, it could be a second-year player. Someone maybe they just signed through free agency. Who do you think could be an X factor for this Buffalo Bill team going into next season, and why? With that being said, hit the like button, subscribe, and let's dive into today's video. Now, let's just make one thing totally clear. The problem with this team is not the offense. I mean, they do a great job every single game, just getting guys open, right? I mean, right here, we're basically going to see a couple of wheels down the sideline. We're also going to see a drag over the middle and then another shallow in a little bit under the opposite side with Matt Collins, right? Now, on this play, the Bills and Josh Allen do a great job kind of running a little bit of a pick route here with Matt Collins, getting in the way of this DB. They take away the 2 safeties here at the top with those deeper routes. And as we come down, getting in the way there, we're going to go underneath this guy. His momentum's bringing him in this direction, which means it's going to be wide open. They scheme so well offensively versus the Chiefs, and they're able to score a lot of touchdowns, right? And if we actually go and look at the offense from last season, they ranked number 2 in the NFL when it came to just points per game. They ranked number 6 yards per play, number 2 red zone scoring percentage, number 3 in touchdowns per game, right? The offense was not the issue at all, right? Maybe they didn't pass the ball as much, maybe one of the worst in football in terms of passing the ball, but that's because they were winning every single game. They didn't need the pass, right? They were the best team in football when it came to QB sack percentage. They barely let Josh Allen get sacked. They barely threw interceptions, which was, one of the major things that Josh Allen changed. And when you look at the offense, right, they didn't need to make too many moves. Yeah, they added Joshua Palmer over Amari Cooper, who's less money and probably will be a good option for them for the next 3 years. Doesn't have a big ego, doesn't need to catch 100 balls a season, right? Keon Coleman, Khalil Shakir. You add Elijah Moore, who I think is going to be such a big-time weapon. He's struggled with some bad quarterbacks, but the talent is there with Elijah Moore. You still have Curtis Samuel. You add Caden Prather in the 7th round. This team is loaded with just overall weapons at almost every single position, which means I'm all in on the offense. I'm officially just bought in. And we know what the problem is, right? They could not get pressure on Patrick Mahomes. Even when they would send 6, it just wouldn't come quick enough. And on this play right here, you see slight outside leverage by the DBs. You see 1 foot right to the outside, which means you're running that slant. You got trips out here to the left that are all getting out in this direction with 1 high safety over the top. You're probably going to lose this matchup down low very, very quickly on unless you got a really good DB there, right? Now, on this play, they end up setting the middle linebacker, the Mike, and the running back, Kareem Hunt, ends up picking him up. Now, at this point in time, you got a body on a body, right? You got a cap on a cap where there's no extra offensive line. There's no extra blockers. You got all the momentum here, but Patrick Mahomes just makes a great read over the middle, finds Juju, poor tackling, and then there he goes down that right sideline for a gain of 29 yards. Now, yes, the Chiefs did end up winning this game, and the Buffalo Bills ended up going home early this year when they were just 1 game away from potentially going to the Super Bowl. But guys, we know what the issue is, and we know how to fix it. Now, the Philadelphia Eagles have given you the blueprint on how to beat the Kansas City Chiefs, right? And we're going to talk about that in just a second. Before we dive even further into what the Bills are about to do, Do me a big favor, guys. Hit the like button if you haven't already done so. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. It is free. It doesn't cost anything to join the family. And we will be covering the Bills throughout the entirety of the offseason, which includes all of training camp, all of preseason. Going to be breaking down some all-22 coaches film just like this. But most importantly, once that regular season starts, we got videos almost every single game for the Bills. We got you guys covered. So join the family, turn on post notifications, that way you're notified every time we post one of these videos. With that being said, let's dive back in. So, what the Eagles showed us, the blueprint that they gave the Buffalo Bills was, hey, you need to have guys that can get to the quarterback. Not only that, you need multiple 6, 7, 8 guys who can do it, who can come off the bench and do it, right? Look at this play here. In the Super Bowl, early in the game, right, they just send 4. They never blitz. I think maybe they blitzed one time in this game. They sent 4 all game, and they were able to get to Patrick Mahomes almost every single play. That's how much pressure they were able to get, and the Chiefs had no answer. They had no answer at all. Let's take a deeper dive, and let's look what the Bills did. First of all, let's look at the defense, right? It wasn't terrible, right? Top 12 in terms of points allowed per game, 16th when it came to yards allowed per game. Let's see, 30th on third down. Okay, so this is where they desperately needed to get better. You cannot allow one of the worst in the NFL, right? Third down conversion percentage. You got to be better there. 17th in red zone scoring percentage, 19th in touchdowns allowed per game. Their defense just wasn't as good as it needed to be. Also, 22nd in terms of yards allowed per carry, 14th in terms of rushing touchdowns per game. Not terrible, middle of the pack, but most importantly, 28th in completion percentage allowed, 23rd in yards allowed per pass, and 20th in sack percentage. Like I said, the blueprint's there. You know how to beat them. Do you just need the players to beat them? And what do they do this offseason? Not only do you retain top 3 guys in Greg Rousseau, Daquan Jones, and Ed Oliver, but you add a potential star in Joey Bosa off the edge. Yes, you lose Von Miller, but this is an upgrade. A younger, more athletic, and more explosive edge rusher who is injured right now. She'll be back soon. But you also add Michael Hoyt from the Rams. Great depth here, right? But not only that, boom, Larry Ogunjobi. Another guy coming over from Pittsburgh who can get to the quarterback from the interior of the defensive line. Great addition. And then TJ Sanders, another guy who can come off the bench and add versatility and a new dynamic from the bench. That right away is 4 new players. But it doesn't stop there. Landon Jackson in college got to the quarterback. He can do it. And then Deion Walker, massive inside nose tackle, defensive tackle, huge frame. Another guy who can pass rush the quarterback. So now you're looking at this team where you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 guys who can probably rotate in on day 1 and make a difference when it comes to getting to the quarterback. And maybe this number becomes top 10. Hopefully it becomes top 5. But at the end of the day, if you pair up this offense with a better defense here in Buffalo, right? You also added Maxwell Harrison, who maybe doesn't allow that Juju Smith 30-yard reception, right? And you bring back Tre'Davious White. They've added a lot to this defense, and I'm expecting it to be a whole lot better this season. Let me know what you guys think. In my opinion, the Bills got a lot better, and I think they're going to make it out the AFC this year. Let me know what you guys think. Hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.